Hello my friends, Chris Mason here, and these are the supplies you will need. I've got a piece of cardstock. This is 8.5 by 11. You will need a pencil, plain old regular pencil, with an eraser if you have one. You will need a Sharpie. This is my ultra fine point Sharpie. That's my skinny point Sharpie. You will need some colored pencils and a bowl, something round, that'll fit in the middle of your paper like so. Not too much bigger. A cereal bowl will do perfect, which is exactly what this is. All right, if we are ready, let's get started. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to take that bowl, I want to draw a circle. So I'm just going to lay this down, kind of give it even spaces, top, bottom, and sides, and I'm going to hold it like that. I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm just going to go all the way around like that. And take this off, and now I got a nice round circle. All right. This one's going to be pretty easy. All right, so from there, we're going to draw our ocean line or our horizon line. And I want to sketch this out. I want to draw lightly. So I'm just going to draw a line that kind of goes straight across. Might be hard to see on camera, but it's light. And then I'm going to find a center line. Again, I'm sketching super, super light. And for our whale tail that's coming up out of the water, I'm going to go like this. So we've got a whale tail that's kind of breaching up out of the water, and that's when whales come up. Okay, so there's like the base of the tail, and we're going to do the big fin. It's going to kind of go up almost like a feather or a leaf or like a fish tail, right? And come down like this. So we've got one half. Now we want to make sure that we draw almost a mirror image, a symmetrical other side. Sometimes it can be tricky to draw the same thing in the opposite direction. So you just kind of look over here and you kind of do your best guess at how that's going to look. And I'd say that was pretty good. So we got a nice little whale tail. And so now we've got these lines. That's our horizon line. So we're going to wavy that line up a little bit. So I'm just going to wave it around. So I'm just do a subtle little wave, kind of wobbles up and down. And then let's do one that goes like this. And we'll do another one that follows along. And then we'll do one last one here. And then, so our whale tail could now extend into this little ripply ocean, and we'll do one that goes like that. So what we've done is we've tried to match these up. So this first one that we did, the second and the third kind of match, so they echo each other. All right, very good. All right, so let's put a little moon. We're going to put a crescent moon up here. So if I draw like a circle, a light circle, something like that, and then I'm just going to take a bite out of it. And there we go. Now we're going to add some stars and stuff, but we'll just wait. We don't need to draw those in. We're just going to ink those in. All right, that's it. That's as simple as it gets. All right, so I'm going to take my fine point Sharpie. Again, that's my skinny point Sharpie. If you don't have the skinny ones, you can use a regular plain Sharpie. That's the fine point, which is a little thicker. But I'm going to use this. I want kind of a fine line. I'm going to bring my bowl back in, and I'm going to line it up over my pencil line and go ahead and go around nice and slow, and I should have a nice circle. There we go. Perfect. And then I can go in now and I can start tracing. Now I like to trace items that are in the foreground. So meaning like the water is in front of the whale tail, the whale tail is in front of the horizon water line. So I'm going to trace this first one here like so. And I might as well get these other ones while I'm at it. There we go. And then I can do the whale. Like so. And feel free to rotate your artwork around as needed. I'm going to go around, trying to draw the line in as smooth and continuous a line as I can. It just makes your lines look a little better rather than stopping, starting, stopping, and starting. So if you try and continue a line around and around in as big of a one stroke as you can, if that makes sense. All right, so there we go. So we've got some ocean, we've got our whale tail. Now we can do the ocean that's in the back. And again, I'm going to try and do those waves in one continuous line. So we've repeated this design element, right? So we just got a repeat of design. And then we've got a circle up there. So if you have something smaller, like a small something, like a quarter or something that's round, you can use that to trace. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and just draw it in. Just like that. All right, so like I said, we were going to add some stars. So we could do a couple of different kinds of stars. We can do sort of the pinpoint stars, where you go like this. And we can spread some of those out. So you make like a cross and then an X. Cross and an X. And we're just going to put a couple of these around randomly. There we go. So we got like these little pinpoint, little twinkle stars. And then we can do, you can do the regular 5-pointed star, where, let me get a piece of scratch paper here. All right, here's a piece of scratch paper. So you could do the regular 5-pointed star, where you make like an A, and then you do like this, right? All in one continuous line. Or if that's a little trickier with a pencil, you can do this, the crisscross like that. But I'm going to do a little star that's going to be a little different. So I want to do sort of like this, sort of like I know I called these a twinkle star, but I think this might be a twinkle star, where you go like this. So you go up and down and then up like this. So we're going to get like this little, so it looks like kind of twinkling, just to give us something a little different in our stars. And I'm going to put one here. There you go. So it just gives us a little bit of, something different in our design. And I don't want to get carried away with adding too many things in the background. I want my focus to be our whale tail. But this kind of adds a little bit of story in our art. All right, I think that's pretty good. I don't mind that at all. And then just for fun, I'm going to add some little extra waves here. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, so another thing you can do is, I know I didn't put this on the supplies, but you could take an eraser and erase that. Now you can use the eraser if you have one on the end of your pencil, you can use that. I like these sort of kneading erasers. So they're like gray, and it's kind of like a clay almost, but it's not clay. But they're like rubber, and you can mold these. And I just use that and kind of rub it all over. Now, what I like about these, what do you notice? There's no like the flakes, right? When you get with those big pink erasers, the big white erasers, you get when you get a lot of that flaky dust everywhere. These, you don't get any of that. You can get these at any of your art supply stores. All right, so now we're ready. So we're going to use some colored pencils. You could use markers or watercolors on this if you wanted to. I have pulled some colors out. I got a yellow, I got a black, I got a green, I got a couple of different blues. I have a purple and a darker blue. So we're not necessarily going to use all these colors, but you never know. All right. One more thing before we get started. I almost forgot. I forgot to add some detail to our whale tails. So I just want to add some extra lines and kind of come up here, because our whale looks a little plain. Put some dots just to give our whale a little texture. There you go. All right, that makes me a lot happier. All right, so I just added a little extra texture in our whale tail. Now you can start anywhere you want. You can start in the ocean. You can start on the whale. I think I'm going to start with the ocean. So because we put all these stars and stuff in there, it looks to me like it's a nighttime scene. So we'll do our nighttime sky, but I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to go in and start coloring in. This is my lightest blue. Now you can color this a number of different ways. You could color the whole thing at once. I prefer to do this in sections. So I'm just going to color all this in. So I'm using sort of the point of my pencil. You could also lay your pencil kind of down and use the side of the pencil this way. But in this case, I want to kind of see my pencil lines. So I want to see the work that I'm putting in. I want to see it. So I'm going right to left. I'm not going to go up and down. I want to go right to left. So all my pencil lines are consistent. They're all going the same way. So I'm doing a light blue, doing a light layer here. Just like that. All right, so we got light blue all across the bottom. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit like a darker blue. And what I want to do is I want to color from the bottom up. So I'm going to take this middle row here, and I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to press a little darker and go up about halfway. Again, I'm just going right to left. I'm starting at the bottom and I'm kind of fading as I go up. So now I get a little variance. So I'm just going to do that with each layer. Start at the bottom and kind of work my way up. Don't worry if you get a little bit inside your whale. I got a little blue in the tail. All right, so I'll go down to these bottom parts. There we go. So we get this sort of gradient shade shadowing. All right, so I've got an even darker blue, and I can go in now and just hit it just at the bottom edge. Just follow the edge like this, just at the bottom. So we're like layering color, pencil. So we get this nice sort of rippling of color. There you go. Looks pretty cool. All right, so we just did blues. So we want to do the same thing now for our whale. Now, I'm thinking the background, it's a nighttime sky. So let's do purple for the nighttime sky. Now you can go in and just color up and down. You can go like right to left. But I think because this is a circle, I want to kind of color around the outside edge. So just like we did here, I'm going to take that purple and I'm going to start at the edge and I'm going to color circular all the way around. So let's go all the way around here. And I'm just doing fast. And I'm just going to go around. And when I get to the stars, I'm going to try not to color those stars. Same with my moon. And again, I want, like here, I want to see my pencil lines. I want to see the work I'm doing, putting all these lines down. All right, so I'm applying fairly much even pressure all the way around. Continuing to go around and around, following the curve of that circle we did with our bowl. All right. Cool. And then I'm just going to go in and just fill in the rest here. Rotate your artwork as necessary. And again, don't worry if you get a little bit inside your whale, that's all right. There we go. All right. So that looks pretty good. Now what I want to do is, so I have an even layer of purple. I want to go back to the outside and I want to push a little harder. So I'm going to do just a little harder. Just on the outside edge. So you don't want to push too hard because you'll break your lead. Colored pencil leads are generally a lot softer than regular graphites in your graphite pencil. All right, so what we did with here, where we went darker and we went lighter, we're going to do that here. So we're going to bring that purple, we're going to go lighter, lighter, lighter. Got a little dust or something under my paper. There we go. All right, so again, pushing a little harder and then getting lighter as I get closer to the whale tail. So we're just going to get a little gradient effect. And you could do different colors. You don't have to do purple. If you wanted to do them in reds or greens, do like a sunset with reds and oranges, you could do that. It doesn't have to be purple. I just went purple because it works with the blue. All right. And how far you want to go, totally up to you. All right, so I'm just going to do one more pass with a little darker purple just on the very outside edge. There we go. All right, there we go. Very nice. I like that it's sort of a pastel-y feel. It's got sort of a nice soft color to it. All right, I'm going to take that yellow and let's go ahead and color in our moon with the yellow. If you want, you could do a little bit on those stars. I wouldn't color them all in solid, just a little bit of yellow, and maybe even go do like those circles around them. That way it looks like it's kind of glowing. All right, there you go. I'm going to leave those little black ones as is. And I've got a black. It's pretty dull. I'm going to go ahead and do, I have a sharpener off camera. It's going to get loud. All right, so that's a little better. So I put a little point on it. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's do all the same technique with our whale tail, but I'm going to do that side. I'm going to almost lay my pencil down, and I'm going to hold it kind of like this and do like this. And I'm just going to go in. Oh, this isn't black. It's like a dark purple. It was very misleading, but let's go ahead. Let's do it. It's like a real dark blue. It's like a navy blue. I thought it was black. All right, so we got a layer down. Actually, it kind of works better that it's not black. All right, there you go. And so I'm going to use the same technique. I want sort of the center to be darker. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go darker right up the middle so that the outside edges are lighter. Now what this is going to do is it's going to make that tail look kind of rounded. So I want to kind of go around and leave a little light edge all the way around. So the center of my tail has the color, has my pencil. And I'm doing that by holding it sideways, holding it flat to the paper. All right, so that's dark blue. And we can go around now and kind of maybe fill in a little bit more blue. Rotate your artwork as needed. All right, now if you had a black, let me see if I can find a black in my pencil. That's not a black. This might be a black. All right, here's a black. We need a little sharpen on it though. That's a little better. All right, so yeah, there we go. So there's black. So we'll put a little bit of black here. Not a lot. I just want to put a little bit here at the base of the tail where it kind of goes into the water. And I put a little black here on the edges. All right. Okay, so there you go. So we've just added a little black to our whale tail. That looks pretty nice. All right. So you can continue on. You could add more colors around. If you wanted to take some of that black around the edges, you could do that. But I like this sort of soft, how it kind of feels very soft. And there we go. I like that. All right. Let's sign our artwork. Let's use this one. I'm going to sign right here along the edge here in this blue. There we go. There is our whale tail. All right, well, I hope you had fun with this project. I had a good time sketching out my whale tail. I hope you did too. Please like and subscribe. And remember, as always, have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you next time.